Dude, this thing is like a luxury bomb shelter that does 0 to 100 in less than 6 seconds. Like, Jesus.
This seems like it's right up your alley, John. Heavy duty, almost anti-EV.
I'm getting my full redneck on it, which is not much of a step for me, admittedly, right? I'm thinking about the moonshine. I'm going to kill me some dinner. Like, dinner tonight's not going to be from KFC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This thing has, like, all the space in the world in the back. It's the same price as a Land Cruiser Sahara. It's between Sahara and Sahara ZX. It's like bang in the middle. And this is the Povo pack, in inverted commas, because there's not a lot of poverty here.
Yeah. Yeah, like look at the roof and everything. It's got, how many USB ports is that? About 50?
I think officially it's got 10 USB ports. Like, Jesus. 10. So it's packed with tech. It's got the big freaking screen, the digital dash, and the automatic side steps.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need your side steps bloody deployed when you're just driving along.
Yeah.
You only need them in and out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This UV boxed this car too. I know you had this car because your phone was still in the list of recent connections.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I had it not that long ago, and it did about 5.80 to 100, which is, according to my tests that I've done, about the same as a Raptor, a Ranger Raptor.
So that's not smoking hot car territory, but it's performance car territory.
It's moving, and it's considering, as you said, this is the base model.
Well, this is not a reason to mourn the loss of the Hemi, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is my favourite engine configuration, incidentally. Like the inline straight sixes with a couple of turbos.
Yeah.
What's not to like about that?
Yeah, so smooth. I love inline sixes. They just sing along really nicely. Yeah.
You haven't got the scavenging and the burble and all of that shit that goes hand in hand with, Johnny and Hank do sound pretty good with a V8 burble, but if it's going to cost you a second and a half, I'll take the straight six with a couple of hair dryers every day.
Yeah, and the thing that amazes me about this engine is, so 300 kilowatts, 313 kilowatts, that's the same as an M3 not that long ago. And think about all the engineering and effort that went into making 300 kilowatts out of a 3-litre BMW M engine.
Yeah.
This is in a mainstream, commercial vehicle, basically.
It's a freaking Dodge.
Yeah.
Doing the same as, like, 2 generations ago worth of M3 or something.
Yeah, and then the high output version of this, 400 kilowatts, the same as an M4 CS.
Insane.
Like, that's hardcore.
So if you look at the budget in terms of buying 300 kilowatts, right, we're in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Raptor's pretty cheap, but it's a significantly smaller vehicle and about the same weight.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing is like contradictory to me, because you expect the quality to be crap, and I can't even tell that this has been right-hand drive converted.
No, like all the dash here, it all looks like it's connected up properly. There's nothing rattling, nothing moving about. Even the handles and all that, it just feels together. It feels definitely like it was made from factory in right-hand drive.
Well, it wasn't all that long ago. Like, if you think back to the GFC, there were a few local right-hand drive conversions going on then with F-150s and F-250s and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Mustangs even, right? And they were terrible.
Yeah.
And the ones that people do privately are even worse. They've got 15 feet of chain from a steering box across to the steering shaft, and like, Jesus Christ, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, and about 60 more self-tappers into the dashboard and door trims and stuff.
Yeah, and the dash is all like foam and fiberglass.
Yeah.
And
whereas this is nothing like that.
No, this is totally factory. Yeah. So I think that's, a lot of people would look at the price of this and then go and look at the price of it in America and go, Jesus, that's a big markup. But hey, it had to be right-hand drive converted. And when you look at the spec of this car with the freaking huge panorama roof and the really good finish on everything, the big screen, the auto side steps, and all of that fluff that is an accessory, like an optional extra in America.
Yeah.
The value is pretty good. The value is pretty good in the context of getting 300 kilowatts out of a car.
Yep.
And out of the spec, and then just, what are you going to buy? Are you going to buy a Cruiser, or are you going to buy this? My inner Jethro is going, this every time, dude. Come on.
Yeah. I would probably take this every time. The only time I would maybe pick the Land Cruiser is off-roading. It does have low range, and it's prepared for off-roading, but I just think you'd probably be a bit more nimble with a Land Cruiser, just the breakover angle in particular. But it is great that the side steps pop up so you can have that clearance.
Yeah, I think in the context of the off-roading that you would do if you spent 140 grand on a Land Cruiser,
Yeah, exactly.
you're probably not going to flog it through the mud, are you?
Yeah.
You know? You might go camping.
Yeah.
You might tow a camper trailer, whatever, caravan, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to do that quintessential gunshot style creek Cape York adventure in your Sahara.
Your brand new $140,000, $50,000 Land Cruiser, yeah.
You'd probably buy a GXL and take it to ARB and pump it up to about 150 grand that way.
Yeah.
I find it particularly interesting that these kinds of cars are in the gun all the time. You know, in the inner city, you've got your vegan hemp handbag toting bloody green-haired local councillor, and he's always getting a run in the the lefty media about banning these things or charging them double to park with us in our community, kind of thing. You know, and I don't know what you think about that, but I think the whole thing is just a epic bullshit logical fallacy, because what is the objection? Can you understand the objection to this car?
No. So I think maybe that stems from that they just can't get the car park and you got it first, so they have to pick on you. But yeah, overall, like if you look at the emissions, if you look at the fuel consumption and the taxes that you pay on this, like it's all pretty even. It's not anything different to what an EV driver is paying, really. Like probably pay more in taxes in this, so you're actually paying more to the society and the community than an EV. Yeah,
that's exactly. Like if you spend 140 grand on this, you're paying the government up front about $13,500 in GST, right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
And although this thing is not especially thirsty, I think the official combined cycle for this car is like 10.9, so that's pretty fuel efficient when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like a Patrol Warrior, whatever they call that big pimpin' Patrol, it weighs like 2.9 tons, and its fuel efficiency in the combined cycle is like 14.4.
Yeah.
Which is a fucking big
considerably
jump
more than
over
this,
and above this thing, right?
Yeah.
Like it just is. So
I think in the real world in this, you can actually get close to that 10 as well. If you're cruising on the highway or even driving along sort of moderately aggressive winding road where you're just not using too much revs, then I think you can get fuel economy pretty close to that in the real world too. Whereas a Patrol Warrior,
not a chance.
You're going to be chewing a fair bit,
Yeah. So if you are actually still subscribing to this fantasy of this being a big thirsty shitter kind of thing, even if that's morally reprehensible from a climate point of view in your head while you're toting your handbag or something, eating your tofu burger, then the dude who is driving this car and buying that fuel, he's also contributing 50 cents a litre for the copious numbers of litres that he buys of petrol, and that goes straight to the federal government. It's like the excise plus the GST on the fuel, and then it's up to the genius bloody ministers like Chris Bowen to do the right thing with the tax revenue and achieve their net zero fantasy or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to, everyone doesn't have to buy a Prius.
No.
These things, like US style redneck super truck kind of things, the Silverado, the F-150, they're less than 1% of total sales. So they're less than 1% of 10% of total emissions nationally.
Yeah, which I've always thought that they should be scaled in some way. Like a Ferrari, Lamborghini, for example, they sell 50 of those a year or something. Why do they have to adhere to the same pollution rules as Toyota Corolla Hybrid or something like that? It should be scaled so it's even, really.
But surely what matters is what we do on a population level, right?
Yeah.
If we're thinking about CO2, 1, 2, 3,000 people, 10,000 people, whatever it is, in a market of 1.2 million buying vehicles like this are going to be offset by virtue of the, 170, 200,000 people, whatever it is, who buy hybrids.
Yeah.
It's the population that matters. It's not individuals. And these vehicles are not being bought by people with a terracing glebe.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
They're out in Windsor and bloody on the
out where I
Central
live, there was a
Coast.
few of them out in the sticks.
Yeah, Picton, whatever. Like that's, and they've got 15 other cars. They've got a collection of HQs and whatever in their big shed.
Yeah.
And
they fit. They totally fit. Like the car parks are fine, and there's plenty of room. They're towing a horse trailer or something. Whether they've got a horse in it or not, I don't know, but they're towing something.
Even when people say these big, heavy, anomalies like this vehicle, what exactly is the problem? Is it big? Because if it's big, the only thing that can matter there is the length, because the width of cars, light vehicles, is all constrained by regulations, right? They're about 2 meters wide.
Yeah.
So, and it's not height. Height's only a problem for you if you forget and you drive into the wrong freaking underground car park, right?
Yeah.
So it's the length.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, this thing is like within this amount of like 600-700 millimeters of plenty of cars that nobody objects to, like
all the dual cab utes. Yeah,
all the utes, and then Carnival and Land Cruiser and Patrol and things like that.
Yeah.
And if it's weight, a freaking Land Cruiser 300 is heavier than this car. Shark 6 is heaps heavier.
Yeah.
Like Kia EV9 is heaps heavier than this car, and a Patrol Warrior weighs in at like 2.9 tons versus this thing at 2.5.
Yeah. When you see this, you might think that it's heavy, but if you look at the facts, it's not actually that heavy. And as you said, it's not, doesn't use that much fuel, and it's. I think, I don't know, there must be something in people's heads that just they see it and they automatically jump to a conclusion without actually investigating.
Yeah, their freaking brains explode because they've got this. They live in this fantasy where they're sure that the quote-unquote right thing to frickin' do is what they want to see. It's their version of lefty net zero emission sort of society, and no one else's viewpoint can be tolerated. It's the whole pronouns are very important to me kind of attitude, right?
Yeah.
If you want to buy a RAV4 hybrid or a Corolla hybrid or whatever, hats off, dude, knock yourself out, go nuts.
Yeah.
Right? But just don't fucking tell me to buy one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right? Because last time I looked, we had a...
Cancelled.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just picking up your voice.
Yeah, there you go. That's what's going to happen to me after freaking elucidating these viewpoints about should be able to own a car like this. I'll get freaking cancelled. That's AI telling me, dude, you'll get cancelled.
It knew.
Would you own one of these?
Would I own one?
Yeah.
I would love to own one, yeah.
Yeah, me
like
too.
I put my family in the back. Look how much room there is. It's ridiculous.
It doesn't even have a freaking transmission hump.
No, it's like completely flat, which I don't know how that's possible when it is a proper ladder frame with a tail shaft running through there and everything. But then have you seen the pockets in the back? There's like pockets under the floor, and then you can lift up the back seat. There's another pocket there. The size of the bottle holders in the rear doors is like you could fit a 2-litre Coke in that thing.
Yeah, if you want diabetes, like this is the car for that. I want to see one with one of those big fuck off smokers in the back.
Yeah.
You know, where you just turn brisket into atherosclerosis. Perfect. You put a rack on the back, right inside the back, and you've got your Mossberg Bat Pumpy and Liberace's AR-15. Gold-plated Diamantes, a couple of magazines.
Yeah.
It's even got a gun port in the back window.
So you can shoot from inside.
Well,
the comfort of convenience of this luxury interior.
Well, you're not teaching your kids to shoot for no reason, are you?
Yeah.
Right. It's so socially unacceptable that I just fucking love it.
Yeah.
I think, however, the thing that I love about it the most is how it makes hemp-wearing, pink hair, tofu-eating lefty just lose their shit.
Get angry. Which is really weird. I find that's... I mean, you'd see it on your channel a lot, but, like, how can people get so angry about... Like, give me an example. If you buy a particular pair of shoes and I buy another pair of shoes, why would I get angry about what shoes you wear? Like, it shouldn't actually make any difference, It's...
Yeah, totally. If I want to wear leather, right?
Yeah.
Okay. if you want to stand on the side of the street chanting, just fucking stop oil, playing your plastic bucket made of oil, wearing your clothes full of synthetic fibres made of
oil, standing on the road, the tarmac
made of asphalt.
Yeah.
Like, knock yourself out, dude.
Yeah.
Have at it. I'm all for it. You want to just stop oil? Lay me out the plan.
Yeah.
To just stop. The only problem I've got with that whole expression is just.
Yeah.
Because it's really not that simple.
The world wouldn't exist. It would not the way it is. Look at these traffic cones here. What are they made out of? Plastic.
Totally.
Like everything relies on oil, whether you like it or not.
That guy's high-vis jacket is made of crude oil.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
just stop it.
Yeah. That's going to work well.
Let's go back to the 12th century because that was fun.
Yeah. Throwing spears at each other.
It's totally nuts. But this thing has really good ride quality, and so it would want to. It's got a wheelbase that spans 2 postcodes kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But it steers okay, and the transmission's really... The selector is brilliant. Like, it's everything.
Yeah, I know. How good's that? It's just simple, straightforward, does what it's meant to do. It's not trying to be, some ridiculous...
We should get 50 PhDs from Namyang, from Hyundai Kia, and just say, hey, if you want the press button, rotary dial, whatever, for your transmission, here's how you do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the RAM box.
Yeah, how good are they? This.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I had to take I went to a picnic with the family, and we bought these bread rolls, and I'm thinking, where can I put that? If I put them in the back, the kids are going to smash them into crumbs, basically.
Yeah.
I put them in that RAM box, and it was raining and everything, and it kept them dry. It's like a little boot, and they're like 200 litres.
I know, they're huge. They're fully functional tool totes as well. Like, if you're a hardcore tradie, you could put a charging station in there, you could put plenty of power tools in there, you could put your go bag of tools to do most jobs. You know how most tradies have got a bag of tools that do most things.
Yeah, and they lock and everything. When you lock the doors, they all lock. So
Central locking. It's really brilliantly thought out, the way that bloody Kia Tasman glorified glove box is not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, that sideways one.
Yeah. So you open it, everything falls out of the floor.
Yeah.
Well done, detailed designers. Oh, we didn't think of that.
Well, maybe it's like a tool dispenser.
Yeah.
You open and ejects your tools out, because that's what, you need your tools.
A tool catapult.
Yeah.
But if you were that sort of hardcore tradie doing, I don't know, roofing or solar installation or whatever tradie thing you do on the building side, right? You can have you and 3 workers in this vehicle with you. If you're going to go 100 k's up the freeway to tomorrow's job, that's comfortable.
Yeah.
You can tow the biggest fuck off trailer at the same time.
Yeah.
And load up the back because there's actual proper space in the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, compared with buying 2 Rangers, which would be about the same price, 2 Ranger Sports or something, right?
Yeah.
There could be a real case for this because, that's one set of registration and more tow capacity than one conventional dual cab sort of thing.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, you got 4.5 ton towing with this. And although if you tow 4.5 tons, your payload kind of works out to be the same, but you've got to remember you're towing 4.5 tons.
Yeah.
So if you tow a 3-ton trailer, you can chuck 500 kilograms or whatever, 1,000 kilograms on that and still be okay, as long as you figure out your front and rear load axles and all that sort of stuff. Axle loads, I mean.
Yeah.
Then you'll be right.
But the point is, you can do actual work. You're not living in this compromised universe where, if you have got a 3.5 ton excavator, you and your 4 mates overload your dual cab, your conventional dual cab, right? Your Ranger, your Hilux, whatever. It's overloaded.
Yeah. Whereas this, you'll be fine. You've got plenty left over.
Yeah. I'm surprised they don't sell more. I think it's awareness in the market, like lack of awareness.
Yeah.
And when you buy a Land Cruiser, you're part of a club, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Hilux or Ranger as well. You don't have to explain it.
Yeah.
I just love the thought of being able to park in spots that are already occupied. You know? Just low range, and you've got full-time all-wheel drive mode as well.
That's great too. So some utes, well, a lot of utes actually don't have that. So you've got to drive around in rear-wheel drive.
Because it's kind of nice to have with 300 kilowatts.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd be chirping the wheels everywhere, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, even along greasy roads like this, its handle's really nice. Like I'm just watching now. It doesn't feel, from a passenger point of view, which is rare for me. I don't get to see how cars are from a passenger point of view. It just feels nice. It doesn't feel uncomfortable. It doesn't feel like, oh, we're in a big truck. You know, you got to not necessarily slow down and that kind of thing, but just the kind of easiness of it. It doesn't feel out of its comfort zone.
Well, this is the old Pacific Highway north of the Hawkesbury River in Sydney, if you're familiar with this area, and it's not a particularly smooth, well-maintained road.
Yeah.
If you're driving up here in the Shark 6, you'll be, that filling needs attention, and because it is a bit rough.
Definitely. Yeah.
On these kinds of conditions, these kinds of roads.
Yeah, the little ripples and so on, little tarmac changes and little connections and stuff.
And this thing is fine. Like it's proper good ride quality.
Yeah. And you don't even have massive tyre walls on this either. Like they're not low profile, but they're just mild profile tyres.
Yeah, they look like bloody 60s or something, or 65s or whatever, but they're not big mud-slinging redneck moonshine drinking tyres.
Yeah.
35s or something.
Yeah. Which would be cool to put them on and see how it goes. Talking about mudslinging.
Don't tease me, baby. Like, I really like this because it's so quote unquote wrong.
Yeah.
It's viewed as so wrong by so many people. But when you drill down into why it's wrong, I sincerely doubt that those Muppets could give you a robust, like, objectively defensible reason why this car is wrong.
Yeah.
Beyond, I just don't like it. It doesn't conform with my view of electric dystopia and the future we need for our children and all of this bullshit, you know?
Yeah. The only part of that argument that I think is slightly true is you wouldn't own this in the city in the same way that you shouldn't own a Land Cruiser or a Patrol or any Ute really in the city. Like, I'm talking dense in the city, right in the middle of it. You never venture outside the city. And this is probably not going to be as practical, again, just like a Land Cruiser or any Hilux or whatever.
Yeah. Well, my daughter lives in an apartment block in the CBD.
Yeah.
And there is actually one of these parked in that apartment block from time to time, but it's a challenge. Like fitting it into the car park is a challenge, and it's a fish out of water, right? It's clearly a fish out of water. So,
and it's not designed for that.
Yeah, it's in practice, they're not being used in this way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're just not. So, the way I see it, people are buying these cars in places like, Windsor and Dandenong and, outer suburbs like that.
Yeah.
Where the banjo lessons are more or less complimentary and, like that,
Yeah.
And they're harmless, they're innocuous, and they're not being parked nose to tail, taking up all the room in Glebe or Surrey Hills.
Yeah.
That's a completely spurious argument to me.
It comes back to what you said before, though. Like, why are people targeting this and not targeting the Land Cruiser and the Hilux and Rangers? Because they're just the same. They're all pretty much the same, as you said. It's not that much longer.
If it's the weight, then we have to include EV9, Land Cruiser, Patrol, every dual cab ute, Shark 6, like that.
Yeah.
Have to.
Yeah.
So it's not the weight because, this thing is not as heavy as the frickin' Woolworths delivery truck.
Yeah.
Right? And they're all over.
Yeah.
And some people say, I can't see around. They're blocking my view of the... You know how there's...
That's how they talk, too.
Beard-stroking boomers talk this way. Like, those... And that's completely spurious, too, because Woolworths delivery truck is blocking the view.
Yeah.
The B-double that you are stuck behind up some grade from hell.
Yeah.
Blocking the view.
Yeah.
And what do? Right?
And again,
you fucking drop back.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't block the view as much. Like, who knew? Yeah. You can drop back from the car in front.
Yeah. I didn't know you could do that. Yeah. That's the same as a bus or a truck or even...
You shouldn't have to.
Shouldn't have to. Because you bought that. Yeah.
You bastard.
Yeah.
Taking up my view of the road ahead, which I'm entitled to. know,
More than you,
Christ.
yeah.
Break.
So you're going to buy one?
I might just not give this one back and see how long it lasts.
Yeah, okay. Oh no, it's still on test.
Yeah. Actually, I'm driving the high output one next week.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's
You're
only
right.
20 grand more.
Yeah. And it's got air suspension, so ride's a little bit different than this.
Yeah.
It's you'll see. It's better ride most of the time. It's just the towing capacity drops a little bit.
But it's like as fast as an SSV Commodore.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, really quick. 400 kilowatts, 700 newton meters. Like it's proper high end, as I said, M4 CS engine with 50 newton meters more torque.
This is like your ultimate prepper family transport. You know the preppers? They're always prepping for the apocalypse. They got a bunker in the backyard with dried beef and tins of food.
You'd have one of these stocked up with
ammo. You know. I'm tipping if you go to a few US websites, you'd see an infinite number of go bags and accessories for preppers.
Bulletproof glass options.
just a little thing that you can hang behind the driver's seat for your spare magazines and tourniquet and Actually, tourniquet's not a bad idea. Well, if you think about, you come along here, someone's clipped a cyclist or cyclist has clipped one of these barriers.
Yeah.
Could be all the difference. I actually have tourniquet in every workshop. Just because, have you ever hurt yourself with a power tool?
No, I haven't actually.
Happens pretty quick.
Yeah.
And there's no warning. It's not like, oh, is the tourniquet there? Right?
Yeah.
It's just a boom. Shit, how did that happen?
Yeah.
That's bleeding a lot. Why am I feeling lightheaded? Kind of.
Yeah.
I hope you don't. It's not much fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it happens pretty quick. I think there's a story in that, like, the things people should really carry in their car that they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
even like a first aid kit can come in handy,
Totally. The problem with first aid kits is that they're all just what paramedics would call boo-boo kits. Like, they're all just bloody
Band-Aids.
Band-Aids and eye wash.
Yeah.
And whatever, Christ knows, whatever else.
They should have like an EpiPen and a heart starter and stuff like that.
They should have a bloody snake bite bandage.
Yeah.
Like a big, long compression bandage.
Yeah.
And something to deal with major bleeding, because all you need to do is buy time until paramedics arrive.
Yeah.
Right? We could come around this bend now and see some poor bloody motorcyclist who's managed to wrap himself into the Armco.
Yeah.
And if you buy him half an hour by stopping the bleeding, make all the difference, right?
Yeah.
So cars like this, if you are actually using them in the boonies, you should have a long-handled shovel, as opposed to the $5,000 worth of pimped up shit that ARB will sell you to shove in the back. A shovel's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make all the difference.
I love the way I just noticed the Armcos in Australia. They have a gap perfectly sized so a human can slide. Oh, here we go. We've actually got an
We've
extended
actually got
one.
2 rows of Armco.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Because these little, the jagged, the sort of, what do you call it, eye-shaped beams that hold the thing there.
C-channel.
Slice you in half. Whereas they need to have a barrier like that. I'm pretty sure overseas they have that pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
It goes all the way to the floor, the ground.
Yeah, like they've done it here because obviously 100 motorcyclists have indicated to them that it might be a good idea to do that here because we croaked previously,
And now they can just bounce off and continue on and pick up their bike and keep going,
Yeah, well, you extend the time duration of the bloody collision and reduce the severity, don't you?
Yeah.
And it's a better story to tell your friends if you capture it on your GoPro on your
Yeah, put it on YouTube.
See how far I slid down the road? if you live to talk about it, kind of thing. Yes. All right. So people can check you out at your YouTube channel. You better give yourself a plug there.
Driving Enthusiast. You can check that out. I do reviews on all new cars mainly, but specialise in kind of performance testing and handling and so on. Obviously, Driving Enthusiast.
And your V-Box everything. Your review of this thing is coming up.
Yes, coming up very soon. Full V-Box tests, quarter mile braking tests, and all of that. It's an impressive bit of kit. Like for a standard model, I think this easily replaces the V8 without any worry. You don't have to think, but I'm missing that V8 power. No, this is more torque, more power, and as a bonus, you get better efficiency. So why not?
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Like it's hard to.
Just the noise is probably the only thing you're missing.
It's really hard to mourn the loss of the Hemi when you get another second.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If it's a second quicker to 100, like, okay, so the Hemi went away.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the Land Cruiser, right? Everyone was boo-hooing the loss of the V8 Land Cruiser, but the V6 is just better in terms of its performance. Like, I don't know how.
In terms of on paper, it's all better.
I don't know how the Hot
faster.
V's going to go.
Yeah, I've heard some, like any car, really, there's reliability concerns with some things. But yeah, on paper, better efficiency, better performance, more torque. But also in this, you don't have to rev it. So in the V8, it's a bit peaky, like a classic natural aspirated engine is. This, you can just push it a bit gently and still get moving and still feel like you're going fairly brisk, you know.
This does have grunt everywhere, I have to say, and 8 speeds. Like, if you've got whatever it is, it's about 650 newton meters, isn't it? This thing.
Yeah.
So if you've got 650 newton meters, you weigh about 2.4 tons. There's about 4 out of those 8 gears would be right.
Yeah.
At any speed.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. So it doesn't. The transmission's not even indecisive there. If you go from loping along to I want to go a bit faster, it just goes.
Yeah.
You know.
And picks it up. Yeah. I think the Ford's got the 10 speed, the F-150. I think it's a bit too much. Like, it's always changing, and it kind of feels like a CVT. But then if you had 6, it might be not enough because you'll be, really relying on the surge of the turbos to keep you going with the longer legs. I think 8's a good blend, good mix.
Well, that 10 speed has been criticised a fair bit for being indecisive in different applications, and there's also been some reliability problems allegedly with it. So, who knows? But I haven't heard anything about this particular powertrain. It's pretty new.
Yeah, that's true.
What are they called? Hurricane.
Hurricane, yeah.
Righto, Brett. Well, people who watch this video and like it can lob over at Driving Enthusiast and check out your latest work, which is an excellent balance of telling the truth versus getting every car maker offside. I think you're right on that razor's edge there, which is a hard place to exist, but you're doing a good job there. And
my hair's getting more grey.
Yeah. Just wait, mate. One day you'll wake up, you see your father looking back at you in the mirror, and it's all down the hill from there.
Yeah.